So typically before making sneak leak videos, I really like to get confirmation from a couple of sources about the leaks I'll be talking about. But there's one shoe that has leaked recently that has me very curious and asking a lot of questions. So I wanted to give you a video of me going through my predictions and my thoughts of the Pegasus 39 Pro. So just a quick disclaimer, these aren't facts, they're theories, so take them with a grain of salt. Alright, so first off, let's start with the name of this model. The leaked images show the name Pegasus 39, so if this is true, then the Pegasus will be getting one of the biggest makeovers to date, and I personally think it'll leave a lot of Pegasus fans unhappy. We've also heard whispers of the name Pegasus Pro as an upcoming model, and to me this model seems more like a Pegasus Pro to me, especially with that speedy looking upper that resembles the Vaporfly Next% 2. But then again, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if this shoe was neither of those two and was called something like the ZoomX Pegasus Next% or the Tempo Next% 2 even. Speaking of the Tempo Next%, that shoe was pretty controversial. I personally liked it for tempo runs, but I thought it felt clunky at every other type of run. Due to the mixed reviews of the Tempo Next%, I could definitely see this new model being a replacement for the Tempo Next%, whether it still carries the same name or not. I mean, if you look at them right next to each other, they share a lot of visual similarities, and it looks like the stack heights are pretty similar as well. Plus, the Tempo Next% was known as the Pegasus Turbo Next% Flyknit before Nike changed it to the Tempo Next%. Alright, so who cares what it's called at the end of the day? Let's talk about what it is. The upper material seems to be a mesh that is very similar to the mesh found on the Vaporfly Next% 2. The tongue looks softer and more padded, and there seems to be more padding around the ankle collar than the Vaporfly Next% has. The midsole is where things get very interesting. It clearly is labeled ZoomX, but the green foam that acts as the core is a foam we haven't seen in other Nike shoes. It looks more like Saucony's Power Run PB pellets or the crushed up recycled ZoomX foam that is found in Nike's ZoomX Vista Grind lifestyle shoe and the upcoming recycled Alphafly Nature model. If this is true, then there might be a thick ZoomX core surrounded by either React or their SR2 EVA foam. Either way, it should be a bouncy and soft midsole. It doesn't seem like there are any Air Zoom pods in there, and it also doesn't seem like there's any type of plate, but you never know. The outsole of this shoe has a lot of coverage in the forefoot and in the heel, with exposed foam in the middle. The tread seems to be fairly aggressive for a road shoe and may add some much needed durability. Alright, now let's talk about the price, what this shoe will cost. And I think that the price depends on a handful of different things. So I think first off, if this shoe does end up being a replacement for the Peg 38 and just being the normal Peg 39, I don't think we're going to see it keep that $120 price tag. I think with that thicker midsole with ZoomX, Nike would definitely raise the price of the shoe to probably around like $150. I think that would make Pegasus fans even more unhappy if the model that they love gets completely redone and gets a price increase, so that's why I'm even more hesitant to say that this is actually the confirmed Peg 39 that we'll see next year, but of course I could just be completely wrong about that. Alright. So let's say that this shoe is a replacement for the Tempo Next% and is a Pegasus Pro of some sort. If that is the case, I could still see that $150 price point being realistic. However, if we look at the price of the Tempo Next% at $200 and what the Peg Turbo was at $180, I think that this shoe would lean closer to the price of those shoes and probably come in around $180. I really hope it doesn't hit the $200 mark, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. Alright, so now the next question is, when will this shoe be released? And again, that depends on a couple things. If this shoe is indeed the actual Pegasus 39, then we can expect the shoe to come out in the normal Pegasus lifespan, which means it would come out in around June 2022. Now, if the shoe is the TeknoAXE successor, we may see it in September or October, maybe as soon as this year even, because I believe that's around the time the TeknoAXE came out last year. Plus, there is a very sketchy and not reliable or confirmed rumor of a Pegasus Pro coming this September, and if that does end up being true, then this would definitely line up with that. So I guess this shoe could either be right around the corner coming up soon or be quite a ways off. Alright, so throughout this video I've been showing a lot of pictures of this new upcoming model, but I just want to make sure that you're aware that none of these pictures are actual real product pictures from Nike. Especially the staged photos that I show, these are not from Nike. But what this does mean is that manufacturers in China have started making this shoe. So we've seen this before with other Nike models, like the ones I remember the most are the Vomero 15 and the TeknoAXE. We started seeing some pictures pop up from manufacturers in China, and that was before the shoes were even announced in the US. So this seems to be something very similar to that. But again, I don't really have any actual information about this shoe, what it will be, what it's called, all that. This is just my speculation, but I will keep my ears to the ground and keep asking some of my sources to see if I get any confirmed information. So if I do find any updates, I will probably make just another video with more concrete information, or I just may leave some comments and pin them so that you know that I have some more confirmed updates or just new information. But I want to hear what your thoughts are. Do you think that this is legit the Peg 39? Do you think it's some type of Peg Pro or a TeknoAXE successor, or just none of the above? I know a lot of people are going to say that this is like a reborn Peg Turbo, which in some ways it definitely is, but I think a shoe that is more like the original Peg Turbo that's coming out is the ZoomX Streakfly. It has the very similar stack height and silhouette as the Peg Turbo. But definitely let me know what you think in the comments down below. So I apologize, I feel a bit like the meme of Charlie from Always Sunny in Philadelphia in this video, but like I mentioned, this shoe just has me really excited and asking a lot of questions. Thanks for sticking with me through the end of the video. Subscribe so you don't miss any of my upcoming shoe news and reviews, and as always, keep on running.